welcome everyone. Currently working together with a friend on this track, which has some sort of LTJ Buchan jungle vibe plus nice guitars. And yeah, I want to talk about a little bit of a trick that you can use to add shimmer to your track that is a little bit more dynamic with the plugin that I lately released, which is called Glitch Shifter. So basically it goes like this. Say that you have some sort of ambient-ish or pad noise, and it might sound a bit like this. And then you want to make it sound more like this. So how does that work? So as you can see, there are two plugins on this track, and one of them is a reverb by KR. What's the name? KR is just the short form, but you know, KR Reverb FS, which is a very nice little reverb that works very well on synth sounds. And if I turn it off, it sounds like this. So now there's just PitchGlitcher. So as you can see, there is an automation going on, and just one, but there is a complex modulation in it. And the reason for that is because I implemented this macro functionality in here. So this video should serve as a little tutorial on how you can actually use that in a progressive way. So what I did in this patch was that I basically said, well, every sound starts normally, but on 0 gain, or minus 24 in this case, because I defined it to not go lower than that. Also no oversampling needed. And now with the macro functionality, you can dial in the gain. So you can say on 100% automation, it should be a little bit like this. Like, what is this? Plus 2 decibels or something. And then I can also add some other features to this, like or actually I should turn up the tune to 12. It already is on 12. Another thing that I did was modulating the fine tune from a very out of tune sound to a very in tune sound. And also, and that's the most important thing here, the feedback. Because the more you dial in the feedback, the more you get this more brighter tone. And you could also experiment with modulating the other things like spread tune. Well, the voices count should not be modulated because it is not made for automation. But the grain size could be. That could also yield interesting results. So basically, that's it, but of course it goes a little bit further than that. For example, you can say by right clicking on this little button here, you can put it into bias mode. And now if you turn up the macro to half the size, you can define where should the modulation point be on that position. Normally it's just in the middle of the mod depth, but now you can actually say it should move towards the final point of the feedback much faster or much slower than it usually would. And also it should approach the normal fine tune a little bit faster, because then it doesn't sound so out of tune. But if it only sounds a bit out of tune, that's kind of cool. And you could say that it takes a little longer to approach a proper gain, so that it is really a very dynamic sound. And then yeah, you would have to give it a bit of a test run to see if it actually sounds the way you want, and then you can tweak it. But that's basically how you can make a Shimmer preset that you can dial in with just the macro knob with PitchGlitcher. And yeah, the result of that can be this.